Hi, I'm Valerie. I've always been the responsible one, working two jobs through college while maintaining a 3.8 GPA. Not easy, but I managed to save enough for my pride and joy. A 2018 Honda Civic, pearl white with black interior. 3 years of double shifts at the campus coffee shop and weekend gigs at the mall. Worth every blister and missed party. Look what finally arrived. I twirled my new keys around my finger as I walked into our kitchen. Nice, honey. That's the one you've been saving for? My dad, Richard, barely looked up from his laptop. Yeah, Dad. Remember? I showed you the brochure like 50 times. My life changed 2 years ago when Richard married Diane, bringing my stepsister Amanda into our household. Amanda was everything I wasn't. Spontaneous, carefree, and somehow always getting what she wanted without working for it. Cute car. Bet it drives real smooth. Amanda leaned against the counter, eyeing my keys. You wouldn't know since you're not driving it. Girls, be nice. Diane gave that tight smile that never reached her eyes. The next morning, I found Amanda in our driveway, sitting in my car and adjusting mirrors. What are you doing? Get out! Relax, Val. Just checking out your new ride. Without asking? Seriously? Richard, Valerie's being possessive again, Amanda called out. Dad appeared at the door, coffee in hand. Val, would it kill you to let your sister check out your car? Stepsister, and yes, it might, considering she doesn't even have a valid license. God, you're so dramatic. Amanda rolled her eyes but got out. That weekend, I was studying for finals when Jessica called. Dude, isn't that your car I just saw heading toward the interstate? Amanda was driving like she's qualifying for NASCAR. My stomach dropped. What, she took my car? I'm calling her right now. No answer. 6 calls later, still nothing. Dad, Amanda took my car without asking. She's not answering her phone. I'm sure she just borrowed it for a quick errand. You're overreacting. Overreacting? She doesn't have a license. 3 hours later, my phone rang. Val? We had a little accident. The little accident was a totaled Civic wrapped around a guardrail. Amanda had taken 4 friends on a spontaneous road trip to the beach, lost control on an exit ramp, and destroyed my car. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, except my bank account and trust. She needs to pay for this. My insurance won't cover her driving unauthorized. Now, Valerie, it was an accident. Richard stood with his arm around a sniffling Amanda. She stole my car. Borrowed, honey. Family borrows things. She doesn't have a license. We can't expect her to pay $12,000. She's just starting college. And what about me? I worked 3 years for that car. Family helps family, Val. We'll figure something out. The something turned out to be nothing. No help from Richard, no apology from Amanda. Just me, staring at pictures of my crumpled car, realizing that in this family, I was on my own. I spent the next month taking the bus to both my jobs, adding an extra 2 hours to already exhausting days. My grades slipped, and I had to drop a class to keep from failing everything. You can crash at my place tonight if you want. It's closer to campus. Jessica tossed me a spare key as we sat in the library. Thanks, but I should go home, even though it doesn't feel like home anymore. Have you talked to your dad since the car thing? We live in the same house and barely speak. Richard's too busy making sure precious Amanda isn't traumatized by her own recklessness. That's messed up. What's your plan? Graduate early, find a full-time job, move out, never ask them for anything again. I stuck to that plan like glue. Took extra courses over summer, picked up a 3rd job waitressing weekends, and moved into a tiny studio apartment with a roommate I barely saw. Richard called occasionally, always with the same script. We miss you at Sunday dinners. Really? Or did Diane tell you to call? When are you going to let this go? Amanda made a mistake. A mistake that cost me everything I worked for. Has she even once said sorry? She's young, Val. She's still figuring things out. So am I, Dad. So am I. Those calls became less frequent over the years. I graduated with honors, landed an entry-level marketing position, and worked my way up to digital marketing director for a tech startup that went public. By 27, I had bought a charming 3-bedroom craftsman in a trendy neighborhood. "This place is insane," Jessica whistled as I gave her the tour after closing. "From that roach-infested studio to this, girl, you're killing it. Remember when we used to dream about having a place with working heat and no roommates? And now look at you. Guest rooms plural and a freaking home office. Have you told your family?" "Richard knows. He wanted to come to the housewarming, but I told him I'm keeping it small." Translation: Amanda not invited. Exactly. 5 years passed with minimal contact. Obligatory holiday calls and the occasional uncomfortable dinner when Richard visited without Diane or Amanda. Then, out of nowhere, my phone lit up with a name I hadn't seen in years. "Val, it's Amanda. I know this is out of the blue." "What do you want?" "I'm getting married in 2 months." "Congratulations. Why are you telling me?" "I'm having some issues with my venue for the pre-wedding stuff. Bridal shower, rehearsal dinner. Mark's family is flying in from Seattle and our apartment is too small. And I was hoping I could use your house. Dad mentioned it's really nice and has plenty of space." "You want to use my house? After everything?" "Look, I know things between us are complicated, but I've changed, Val. I'm not that irresponsible kid anymore. This could be a chance for us to reconnect as sisters." "Stepsisters." "Right, sorry. Stepsisters. I really need this, and I promise we'll respect your space. It would mean a lot to me. To Richard, too." Of course she'd bring Richard into it. Classic Amanda manipulation. "I'll think about it." I hung up and stared at my reflection in the window, seeing not just my face, but the shadow of that devastated 20-year-old standing next to her wrecked car. Some wounds don't heal. They just get covered with prettier bandages. I called Jessica as soon as I hung up with Amanda. "She wants to what? Use your house? The audacity of this chick is next level." "I know. Part of me wants to tell her to get lost, but nothing. Have you forgotten what she did? She totaled your car and didn't even apologize." "Trust me, I remember. But maybe this is my chance." "Chance for what? To let her wreck your house too?" "No, my chance to finally get her to face consequences. For Richard to see who she really is." I don't like where this is going. "I'll let her stay, but on my terms. With evidence this time." The next day, I had 3 discrete security cameras installed in the common areas of my house. All legal, all visible if you knew what to look for. "You're seriously going through with this?" Jessica helped me set up the security app on my phone. "Yep, I've already texted Amanda my house rules. No parties, no extra guests without permission, respect my privacy and property." "And you think she'll follow those?" "Not a chance." A week later, Amanda arrived with her fiancé, Mark, tall, clean-cut, with a genuine smile that seemed out of place next to her practiced one. "Your house is beautiful, Valerie. Thanks for letting us stay." Mark extended his hand. "Isn't she just the sweetest big sister?" Amanda gave me a side hug for Mark's benefit. "Stepsister," we both said simultaneously. I showed them to the guest room, pointing out boundaries. "My office and bedroom are off-limits. Everything else is fair game." "Got it. We really appreciate this, Val." Mark seemed sincere. "Whatever. Mark, you hungry? I made a casserole this morning." Amanda steered him toward the kitchen. By the second day, my security app was pinging constantly. Amanda on the phone in my living room, voice low but crystal clear on the recording. "Yeah, Diane, her house is perfect for the after party too. I know she said no parties, but what's she gonna do, kick out family?" Another call later that evening. "Mark's so impressed with her place, it's actually making me sick." "Oh, Valerie's so successful, so responsible. Please, she just got lucky with that startup." The third day brought the jackpot. Amanda and her friend Tiffany drinking wine on my back porch. "So what happens after the wedding?" "We'll probably stay here a while. Our lease is up, and Mark loves this neighborhood. Valerie won't have the guts to kick us out." "What about all that stuff with the car years ago? You never paid her back, right?" God, she's still hung up on that. It was just a car. Besides, why would I pay for something that was her fault anyway? Her fault? How? If she hadn't been so stingy about lending it, I wouldn't have had to take it without asking. Besides, Richard always takes my side. She knows that. The final straw came when I returned early from work and found Amanda in my bedroom, rifling through my jewelry box. "What the hell are you doing in here?" "Oh, I was just looking for a pair of earrings to borrow for dinner tonight." "This room is off limits. I made that clear." "Don't be so uptight. Sisters share stuff." "We're not sisters. And that necklace you're holding was my mother's." "Fine, whatever. Mark and I are meeting Richard and Diane for dinner. You're welcome to join." "Actually, I have a better idea. Why don't you all come here tomorrow night? I'll host." "Really? That's unexpected." "I'm full of surprises." I smiled, thinking of the recordings safely backed up on my phone. Full of surprises. I spent all day preparing the perfect dinner: Dad's favorite pot roast, Diane's preferred wine, and a digital slideshow that would change everything. Jessica arrived early to help set up. "You sure about this? Once you do this, there's no going back." "I'm done letting them walk all over me. 5 years is enough." The doorbell rang at exactly 7. Richard and Diane arrived first, followed closely by Amanda and Mark. "Something smells amazing." Mark handed me a bottle of wine. "This is quite the spread, Val." Richard looked around approvingly. "It's nice to have the family together." "Yes, family." I smiled, catching Jessica's eye. "Let's eat." Conversation flowed normally through appetizers. I waited until everyone had started their main course before picking up my phone. "So, Amanda, how are the wedding plans coming along?" "Great. Mark's family is arriving next week for the shower I'm hosting here." "Here? I don't remember agreeing to that." "Oh, I just assumed since we're staying here. Isn't that what family does? Help each other out?" "Funny you should mention family helping family." I tapped my phone, and Amanda's voice filled the dining room from my TV speakers. "It was just a car. Besides, why would I pay for something that was her fault anyway?" The color drained from Amanda's face. "What is this?" "We'll probably stay here a while. Our lease is up and Mark loves this neighborhood. Valerie won't have the guts to kick us out." Mark put down his fork slowly. "Amanda, what's going on?" "Nothing. She's obviously edited these or something. If she hadn't been so stingy about lending it, I wouldn't have had to take it without asking. Besides, Richard always takes my side." Richard shifted uncomfortably. "Valerie, this isn't appropriate dinner conversation." "No, what's inappropriate is how you've enabled her for years." I pulled out a folder. "These are copies of all the texts and emails where you dismissed my feelings about the car. And this," I slid a document across the table, "is the insurance claim showing I lost everything because she drove without a license." "That was years ago, honey. People make mistakes." Diane reached for Richard's hand. "It wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern that you've all supported. She took my car, destroyed it, and never apologized. Now she's planning to take my house too." "Val, I think you're overreacting." Richard tried his usual deflection. "No, Dad, I'm finally reacting appropriately." I turned to Mark. "She was going through my personal belongings yesterday, planning parties against my explicit rules. How many red flags do you need?" Amanda burst into tears. "She's trying to ruin my wedding. Richard, tell her to stop." "Not this time, Amanda." Richard looked tired suddenly. "Val, I should have made her take responsibility back then. I'm sorry. Too little, too late. I want you all out of my house. Now." "But where will we go?" Amanda wailed. "What about the wedding?" "Not my problem." They left within the hour, Mark silent and shell-shocked, Amanda fuming, Richard and Diane subdued. 3 months later, I heard through Jessica that Mark had called off the wedding, and Amanda had moved back in with Richard and Diane. Richard had tried calling twice, but I didn't answer. Some bridges stay burned, and that's okay. My house is peaceful now, filled only with people who respect me. Sometimes the best family is the one you choose. Would you have forgiven your father after years of him choosing your stepsister over you? Or was Valerie right to cut him off completely? Some might say family deserves second chances no matter what, while others believe blood relation doesn't excuse repeated betrayal. What's your take? Is maintaining your dignity worth losing family connections? Or should Valerie have tried to rebuild that relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up to toxic people. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload.